dir dim 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 da na 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 dir dim 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 da na 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 de na dim dere na.
నందమూరి బాలకృష్ణ గారి 100వ సినిమా గౌతమిపుత్ర శాతకర్ణి. ఈ సినిమాకి కథ అద్భుతంగా కుదిరింది. డైరెక్టర్ గొప్ప డైరెక్టర్ అండ్ కాస్ట్ అండ్ క్రూ గురించి మనకు తెలియంది కాదు. బాలకృష్ణ గారు, హేమమాలిని గారు ఇలాంటి హేమాహేమీలు నటిస్తున్న సినిమా. మరి ఇలాంటి సినిమాకి మ్యూజిక్ ఎలా ఉండాలి? అందుకే చిరంతన్ భట్ గారిని ఎంచుకున్నారు క్రిష్. ఎందుకంటే క్రిష్ గారు అంతకుముందు గబ్బర్ ఈజ్ బ్యాక్ హిందీలో చేశారు, ఆ తర్వాత కంచె చేశారు. సో ఆయన మీద ఉన్న నమ్మకంతో ఈ మూవీకి చిరంతన్ భట్ గారు కరెక్ట్ అని ఫీల్ అయ్యారు అండ్ ఆయనతో మ్యూజిక్ చేయించారు. మన సాంగ్స్ వింటున్నాం, చాలా బాగా వచ్చినాయి. సో ఆ మ్యూజిక్ గురించి, గౌతమిపుత్ర శాతకర్ణి గురించి చిరంతన్ భట్ గారు ఏమనుకుంటున్నారు ఆయన మాటల్లోనే విందాం. హలో చిరంతన్ గారు, హౌ ఆర్ యూ?
Fine.
హార్ట్లీ వెల్కమ్ టు తెలుగు ఇండస్ట్రీ.
Thank you for
already you have come, but ఈ మూవీతో చిరంతన్ భట్ ఎవరనేది తెలిసిపోతుంది. సో కమింగ్ టు ద మూవీ, హౌ ఇస్ ద రెస్పాన్స్ ఫర్ ద ఆడియో ఆఫ్ గౌతమిపుత్ర శాతకర్ణి? ఎలా ఉంది రెస్పాన్స్, ఎట్లా వచ్చింది?
The response has been phenomenal. The music launch was on a grand scale, and even when the songs were being the making was being shown on the screen, the audience response was very good. And that the next day it was on YouTube, all the songs, and I was reading the comments and that I'm receiving on Twitter and on YouTube, and it's been an overwhelming response.
Okay.
So I'm extremely happy that the songs have been accepted. Being the 100th film of Balakrishna Garu, there was pressure, you know, that how the songs will be received, because here the fanism, they say fanism is
there's
too
huge
much
fan following for Balakrishna Garu.
Yeah.
So 100th movie for Balakrishna again, even a pressure feel aaya? Did you feel any pressure for that particular context?
Initially Krish told me that it's like, you know, Balakrishna Garu's 100th film, he's a mass hero, it's like it has to be commercial and at the same time, but then Krish himself, he doesn't believe in making songs that just for the audio, that it needs to be a hit. It needs to be a part of the film. It needs to sound like it's a part of the film. It needs to do justice to the film. So I think that was one thing that I followed, that I have to listen to Krish's brief and I have to satisfy his needs. And if I satisfy his needs, I know that I'll be satisfying the audience.
Particularly ఈ మూవీకి ఏది కష్టం అనిపించింది, రికార్డింగ్ కంపోజింగ్?
Both were difficult, but I would say re-recording is a little more difficult, because forget it being a historical film, it is a Krish film. That is the main thing. You know, when it is a Krish's film, there are lots of layers, you know, in terms of emotions, and every scene has been shot very significantly. There's something happening in every scene. It's not the scene exists just to take you from point A to point B. You know, it is there for a reason. So in the re-recording, it becomes that much more difficult, because there are varied emotions there. The music had to be that grand to kind of do, obviously, to do justice to the visuals. So that way re-recording definitely has been more difficult, but at the same time I would say more satisfying.
గబ్బర్ ఈజ్ బ్యాక్ తో స్టార్ట్ చేశారు మీరు క్రిష్ తోటి, అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ కంచె తెలుగులో, దాని తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు శాతకర్ణి. ఏంటి మీ రిలేషన్ ఏంటి? వాట్ ఈస్ ద ర్యాపో?
See, during Gabbar is Back, we didn't meet that often, because he and Akshay Kumar were sort of, they knew each other, and the song was selected, like Akshay Kumar had my song and he suggested, and I happened to be in the film. But it was he liked the song so much, Krish, that then when he was planning Kanche, he just asked, do you want to try? You know, do you want to try? I said, he's like, but it's a period film.
For Kanche, okay.
For Kanche. Because from there is when I got to know Krish properly, you know.
Okay.
So he asked me that, would you like to try? So I said, yeah. So the first song he gave me was the situation of Uru Endi. So I was like, okay, let me try. And luckily it was the first melody that I gave got approved.
Oh.
And then of course then he said, okay, ye ho gaya, abhi dusra is like give me the love song. So first shot I gave him Itu melody.
Yeah.
That also got approved. So then he's like,
that was like right now also ఇప్పటికి కూడా చాలా మంది ఫేవరెట్ సాంగ్ అది.
I know. I mean, lot of people have been telling me that it's really he expects a certain level of music. You know, what moment he tells you a scene and you think that, okay, I know what the song should sound like, it is exactly what it shouldn't sound like, according to him. It's easy to work with him because he has a good knowledge of music.
ఓకే ఏ సాంగ్కి మీరు బాగా డిఫికల్ట్గా ఫీల్ అయ్యారు గౌతమిపుత్ర శాతకర్ణిలో?
I think the Saho Sarvabhauma, because there is a lot of emphasis given to the theme song, you know. So emotions need to come, aggression needs to come, power needs to be there, that if we need to use it on a war sequence, it should sound like it can be used. Like how Ram Undagidam was the most difficult song actually of Kanche, because it was coming on the climax. There's a whole fight sequence happening. At the same time, the entire story, the idea of the borders and Kanche not being there, everything is there in that song. So it was a complicated, you know, piece of music. So in this case also it's complicated, and I made it even more complicated by coming up in 7/4 time signature, you know. Now in that time signature it's very difficult to write words. Very difficult to write. But of course I had Shastri Garu writing, but I'm blessed that I'm working with him.
ఒక లాంగ్వేజ్ మీకు తెలియదు, యూ హ్యావ్ టు ట్రాన్స్లేట్ ఇట్ అండ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఇట్, దాన్ని మార్చుకొని మీరు అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి. హౌ డిడ్ యూ ఫీల్, హౌ డిఫికల్ట్ ఇట్ ఈస్?
So first when I make the tune I sing some rubbish. So I'll sing some random syllables that sound a little South Indian, you know, they sound, they've got that ring, or what I feel the ring of the syllables should be like. So I'll just sing something, you know. Something like that, I'll just sing.
Come again please.
And then I'll give it to him, and then he wrote Ikimida, and you know, like that. So sometimes my gibberish that I put in helps him to get the flavor of what kind of sounds I'm looking at. But of course he's a genius, I don't have to tell him anything. So I managed it.
సో కమింగ్ టు ద సింగర్స్, ఇవాళ రేపు అందరూ యంగ్ జనరేషన్ యంగ్ సింగర్స్తో పాడిస్తున్నారు, బట్ యూ చూస్ బాలు గారు.
We've grown up listening to his songs. So for me it was a fan moment. A dream come true, that I never knew that I would get an opportunity to work with him, you know, in this life at least. But I think thanks to Gautamiputra Satakarni that my dream came true, and that session with him was like a learning experience, because he is such a huge personality. I'll be happy if music director tells me that it's good, you know. I'm like, sir, it's good.
You're watching him like that.
I'm just watching him, you know. And he said that today I'm just a singer and you are my music director. So he gave me that respect also, that you are the music director, you have to direct. So he told Krish that please tell the composer that I love the song, you know. So that also made me feel.
Adharamadula adirinadena adharamadula adirinadena kanukolakula tadi tadukena mruganayana భయమేలని మృగనయనా భయమేలని.
సో బాలకృష్ణ గారు, మీకంటే బాలకృష్ణ గారి 100th మూవీ అంటే ఒక బిగ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ అనేది అందరూ ఫీల్ అవుతూ ఉంటారు, అండ్ యూ ఫీల్ లైక్ సో బాలకృష్ణ గారితో వర్క్ చేయడం ఎలా అనిపించింది మీకు?
See, Balakrishna Garu, like that, his aura is there, you know, that 100th film, and he's a huge star. So the pressure was there. I met him just when we were doing Mriganana. That's I had gone to the shoot in near Indore, Maheshwar, and I met him, and I was so shocked because he's got so much energy that I feel like I'm some 60-year-old in front of him.
Exactly. Everybody feels like that.
He's like
in
this,
front of him.
The moment I got introduced, he's like, Bombay se aaya mera dost ko salam karo. You know?
That energy.
Yeah, so he also made you feel very friendly. So that was a wonderful experience meeting him. And and then of course I again met him during the audio launch, and he was very happy, made me sit next to him. He would also like explain to me what you know, Shastri Garu was saying and all that, because I couldn't understand what he was saying. So that way, again, very humble.
ఆయన ఎలా ఫీల్ అయ్యారు సాంగ్స్ విన్న తర్వాత, ఆఫ్టర్ లిసనింగ్ టు ద సాంగ్స్?
He loved the songs.
Okay.
He absolutely loved the songs. In fact, he was trying, and he has a thing that if he reads something now, he remembers, he doesn't forget. Like, you know, lyrics or something, he will know dialogues by heart of old films, cut, he'll say that. So, the Burakatha song, the Singam,
Yeah,
Singam
vinnan.
So that song, he was constantly singing it. While sitting next to me in the audio launch, he was singing, and then he was missing out some lines, so he was like constantly trying to remember. Then he remembered it, like, I remember it now. So he was excited about the music.
మీకు బాగా నచ్చిన పాట ఏంటి?
ఏ గన 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 గుండెలలో జే గుంటలు మ్రోగెను రెక్కసి ముక్కలు ముక్కల ముక్కలయ్యేలా, ఏ కన 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 కన్నులలో కార్చిచ్చులు రేగును చిక్కటి చీకటిని రగరగలించేలా, వరదాతిన నీ కట్టి బరువాను బాను మిట్టి సనమ్మికి సరిపెట్టి గర్జించిన ఎరుగత్తి, ఎవ్వడురా ఎడదకి రారా అని అనగానే అవురవురా, నువ్వు ఆపదకే ఆపదవవుతావురా, నీ కీడంటే మన నీదే కదరా, నదురా బదురా ముందుకు పదరా, వేటంటే మన కాతే కదరా, కయ్యానికి సయ్యందాం పదరా.
ఇప్పుడు మృగనయన ఉంది, గణగణ ఉంది, అండ్ బుర్రకథ పాట ఉంది, అండ్ ఎకిమిడా ఉంది. విచ్ కాంటెక్స్ట్ డిడ్ దే కమ్ in the movie?
See, Ikemida is a song where the king and the queen want to probably enjoy not being king and queen for that one day, you know.
You know what you say, mufti.
Matlab, today,
Just
like
get up,
let's
change
say a
karke.
superstar also wants to sometimes go to eat pani puri or you know sev puri at a roadside place, but he can't do that. So this is a song about that.
ఏ సాంగ్ కి బాగా ఎంజాయ్ చేశారు మీరు? ఏ సాంగ్ కంపోజ్ చేసేటప్పుడు బాగా ఎంజాయ్ చేశారు?
It be Mirganena because I was out of my studio. I was in Indore and at the set, you know, in the location itself, and sitting there in the hotel and composing and all was a new experience for me, because generally we compose at our own studios in the same environment all the time. So this was something different. So
రీ రికార్డింగ్ టైంలోనే మూవీ ఎలా ఉందనే తెలిసిపోతుంది. వన్ కెన్ డిసైడ్ వైల్ రీ రికార్డింగ్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్. సో హౌ డిడ్ యూ ఫీల్? మీకు ఎలా అనిపించింది రీ రికార్డింగ్ టైంలో?
I felt that it's like going to be a super duper hit.
Okay.
Because the way it has been, see what happens with Krish's films now, the content is very strong. His scenes, his dialogues, expressions, the way he brings the scene about where it comes in the film, why it comes in the film, everything matters, you know, to him. So when you see the film, obviously it's a grand film. The visuals are grand, the fights are grand, the sets are grand. Everything is, you know, you got Balakrishna Garu, you got Shreya Saran, you got Hema Malini ji playing Balakrishna. So the cast is also grand. But the main thing is the content.
హేమమాలిని గారు, బాలకృష్ణ గారు, శివరాజ్ కుమార్ గారు, వన్ ఆఫ్ ముగ్గురు లెజెండ్స్.
Right.
వాళ్ళ తమిళ్లో కావచ్చు, లైక్ కన్నడలో కావచ్చు, హిందీలో కావచ్చు, ఇక్కడ తెలుగులో కావచ్చు, ముగ్గురుతో వర్క్ చేస్తారు. హౌ డిడ్ యూ ఫీల్ అబౌట్ ఇట్? ఐ మీన్, మైట్ బి మ్యూజిక్ డైరెక్టర్గా మీకు అంత స్కోప్ ఉండకపోవచ్చు టు మీట్ దెమ్ పర్సనలీ ఆర్ లైక్ టు టాక్ టు దెమ్.
So Shreya, I met her because I'd gone for the shoot, and of course Balakrishna Garu I met. Hema Malini ji, I couldn't actually interact with her when I went there. So on the audio launch day, I had to take a snap with her for my mother, to show my mother.
Okay.
Because she's a big fan.
Okay.
So I told her that for my mother, I need to take a photograph with you, you know. And of course, we all have been brought up on her films. So it was a wonderful thing to see her in person, to meet her. And of course, with a cast like that, because you need, you know, the film has, the characters are so big in terms of its image. Like he's Satakarni. Their dynasty ruled for 400 years, you know, and the mother is very instrumental in him being who he is. So you need somebody who's got that image, you know. So, and Hema Malini ji, who better than her? Like, she's a legend, you know. And so all that brings to the story, you know, it brings to the authenticity of the, you feel that no, this character is so big, and Hema Malini ji playing it makes it even bigger. So that's, I think the casting of this film has been done very correctly by Krish.
Alright. So మీ ఫ్యామిలీ విషయానికి వస్తే, యువర్ ఫాదర్ అండ్ గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్స్, దే ఆర్ లైక్, యు నో, గ్రేట్ ప్రొడ్యూసర్స్ అండ్ డైరెక్టర్స్, అండ్ యూ కేమ్, మీరు మ్యూజిక్ డైరెక్టర్గా వచ్చారు. సో హౌ డిడ్ ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్ ఇన్ ఎ షార్ట్ లైన్?
Well, strangely, I was not at all interested in in getting into film industry. I was trying to get into software. And
Really?
yeah, I was trying to, first I thought I'll do an MBA, but then my mathematics is very bad. It's a genetic problem. So then I decided that MBA is not going to happen for me. So and that time the software, the .com, you know, I'm talking about like 1999, 2000, it was coming in a big way. You know, everywhere people were, these computer
Software,
classes were opening and everybody was doing, even I'll do that. So I got a computer at home, and then there's this friend who installed one software where you could make music. And before that, in college I used to play guitar. And I used to play in a band for some time. It was like a hobby. Never thought that I can make a career out of it. It was just a hobby, and then I'd even put the guitar aside. I was studying. So when I got the software that I could make music, I started spending more time doing that than doing the computer programming, you know. And then that started suffering. So then I started going for interviews and started realizing, my God, even this is not my cup of tea. You know, software not my cup of tea. So I said the only thing I think I like doing is music. So that's when very late in life, almost after 2 years after my graduation, is when I told my father that I think I want to, you know, learn recording, mixing, and not even composing. I wanted to work in a studio, record, mix that. So then I went to Chennai, and I studied there for 1.5 years. And when I went to Chennai, I had this thing for South Indian, you know, that I want to do something in South India. And I had even composed a Tamil song. And I got lyrics written from the watchman of the college.
Oh.
You know, I still remember the words also. So basically, I wanted to do, and of course, then I had to come back. I came back, and then I worked in a studio. Didn't enjoy it. Then I said I'll try and make my own songs. Then I started making my own songs, and somewhere one day I just happened to get a break, and I got into films. And I think that's you know, sometimes when you don't make a decision, life pushes you into that direction.
Take that, take
because
that
you are not willing to understand that this is your path.
अरे यार बेचारा किसको
So I was almost kicked, you know, that go, you have to do this.
Right.
So it was almost like that. So till now, Chris tells me that, you know, why I like working with you is because you have not learnt music, and that you are not from South India. So you think differently. You know, your idea of a melody is very different from what the normal would be. Because you have not learnt music, you come out with some stupid things, you break rules, which, you know,
which really he wants.
because normally what happens when you studied music, you're so bound by the rules that it's difficult for you to break the rules.
But we expect a good music from you for your next movie.
Definitely. I have one belief that if my name is coming there, the music should be good. Because my name is going to come there, I have to work hard and make the music good. And here also it was the same case, that it's going to come. Of course, people are not going to say it's just a film, it is 100th film now. So there was one more thing, a tag attached to the film, so I had to work that much harder.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I had a great time. We wish e movie Gautamiputra Satakarni will bring more movies in Telugu, and we can listen, so that we can listen a good music from you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you very much.
Dir dir dim 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 da na 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 dir dir dim 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 da na 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 de na dim de na dim de na